another video in my 4-part series of my best and worst foundations. Today we're doing my favorite drugstore foundations. I have quite a few, and then I am also filming my worst regret drugstore foundations. I actually don't even have any of them. I think I've gotten rid of them because they were that bad. So make sure you are subscribed so you can see that video. Also, I have the favorite high-end and my biggest regrets of high-end foundations. So I will have them pop up as little info cards, and also try to remember to link them down in the description box below. Before I get into the best drugstore foundations, please subscribe if you are not already, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and let's get into the foundations because I have a few and they are really good. The first two, which are probably my most used foundations, especially drugstore, but they're probably some of my top foundations and like my top 5 foundations that I use. It's the L'Oreal Infallibles. This is the Pro Matte and the Pro Glow. I love them both equally. They are so good. This one's almost gone. I have like all the shades so that I can mix and match depending if I'm fair, if I'm tan, or if I'm in between. I like to mix them together. I like to wear them alone. I like to mix them with other foundations. It's just like the perfect foundation. It's not heavy. It's not cakey. It looks gorgeous. I always have a good skin day when I wear these. First is the L'Oreal Pro Matte. This one's great. It's very lightweight on the skin. It gives you a beautiful satin matte finish. It lasts really well on my skin. It doesn't cling to dry patches. It doesn't accentuate pores. It doesn't accentuate texture. It's like such a beautiful natural skin finish, but matte and good coverage. And it lasts a long time. So like everything you could possibly want in a foundation, I think this does it. This is so pretty. It's so gorgeous. This is 102, so when I'm really fair, this is the shade that I use, and it's almost gone. I love this so much. I also really love the Pro Glow. I love the Pro Glow concealer. I don't like the powder, but I do love the concealer, and I love the foundation. This, again, gives you a glowy, radiant finish without being too dewy or too glowy. It's just kind of that natural lit from within look to your skin. It doesn't make your skin look like super glowy or dewy. It's like the perfect radiance. It's not too much. It also lasts really well throughout the day. It's great coverage. It feels light on the skin. I'd say this one feels a tad bit heavier than the matte one. The matte one just feels so ultra light. This one still feels light on the skin, but not as light as this one. I love mixing them together for the perfect like natural radiant look. Oh, it's just so pretty. I love them. Love them on their own, love them together, love them with other foundations. Just like this is probably my #1 favorite out of all the drugstore foundations. Next is another one that I'm loving. It's the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. I did do a video on this. If I have videos of any of these, I'll remember to link them down below, just like I did with the other high-end foundations. This one is for when I'm really tan. It's 732 Nude Beige. And I really like this because it's glowy on the skin, but it gives, again, like a natural radiance. It has fantastic coverage. It lasts really well. It makes your skin look beautiful. I love this foundation. I don't think it gets enough hype. I'm not a huge CoverGirl foundation girl usually, but this is just so beautiful on the skin. The tone of this is so great when I'm tan. It says that it is lightweight, full coverage, and it hydrates and has SPF 20 in it. It has vitamins and antioxidants, and it's oil-free. I would agree with that. It is lightweight on the skin, fantastic coverage, looks beautiful. I should have worn that today, but I filmed another video, so I used a different foundation. But definitely recommend checking this out if you haven't already. Next, the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Hydrating Tint. It has hyaluronic acid in it, which I love. My skin loves hyaluronic acid. This is a really great foundation. I did a whole video where I compared it to a high-end foundation. I will link it down below if you have not seen it. I think this is beautiful on the skin. It's more of a light to buildable medium coverage. You can't get full coverage out of this, but it's so pretty. This one's a natural beige. This is kind of like my normal color. I do have a lighter shade and a much darker shade, so I do mix them quite often. The only thing that I don't like about this is I hate the applicator. This has a pump, obviously, and then these two are squeezy tubes, but this one has like this big wand, which is very similar to the Clinique one. I just don't like this. If you're a germaphobe, I'm not a germaphobe or anything, but if you are, like, you're gonna hate like putting this on your face and then sticking it back in. But this foundation is stunning. I prefer applying this one with a brush versus a beauty blender. The other three that I've shown, I like applying with a beauty blender. However, I just think applies much better with a brush. Beautiful foundation. I love that it has hyaluronic acid in it. It never looks cakey. It looks very radiant and glowy on the skin. Like that natural skin finish. If you guys can tell, I really like kind of the same finish. I like kind of a medium coverage. This is beautiful. It says moisturizes and plumps skin for 24 hours. Love, love, love this. And when I did my dupe video of this versus like a $110 foundation, a lot of you guys went out and bought this foundation and you loved it too. So I'm happy to hear you guys liked this. I think it's fantastic and it definitely doesn't get enough hype on YouTube. Next is an oldie but a goodie. I repurchased a new bottle because I finished up my old one. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Skin Perfecting Full Coverage Foundation. SPF 20, 25-hour wear with Comfort Serum. It's a full coverage foundation with a Comfort Serum. Instant perfect coverage that lasts all day, sweat, heat, and humidity proof. Transfer proof up to 25 hours. I don't know about that, but this is a very long wearing foundation. Fantastic coverage, a gorgeous skin finish. Does not look cakey or heavy on the skin. I love applying this with a beauty blender. The only downside for this is that it is an open bottle. I don't understand why in 2017 they have not put pumps on everything. It doesn't make sense to me. Drugstore prices are going up. Why don't they all have pumps? I think they all should have pumps, and if they don't have pumps, they need to be in a squeezy tube because that's cheap packaging as well. The downside is it's a bit of a thicker foundation, so sometimes it's a pain to try to get the foundation out of here, but it's a beautiful foundation and very inexpensive. All right, the next foundation is very, very inexpensive. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I have this in a few shades. This one's got a wacky applicator as well. It's like this paddle. Don't love those type of applicators. However, the foundation is super inexpensive, beautiful on the skin. I do have a first impressions of this. The powder as well is phenomenal. It's one of my holy grail all-time favorite setting powders for my face. Oh, it's so beautiful. Definitely recommend checking this out. It is a full coverage, more of a matte finish, but it feels light on the skin. You don't get that heavy foundation feel. You know what I'm talking about? When I say lightweight, I just mean you can touch it and you feel skin. It doesn't feel cakey or heavy or cling to dry patches, subtle into fine lines or pores. It just looks beautiful on the skin, just makes it look flawless. So really love this. It says it was tested under 7 light conditions with and without flash with top smartphone models. So there you go. It also says it's supposed to eliminate flashback as well. I just think this is fantastic. If you guys are into cruelty-free makeup, this is also cruelty-free. Next, we have the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. I love this. I tried the matte and poreless, hated it. It literally made me look like I had alligator skin. It just looked really bad. This, however, is fantastic. This is so beautiful. This is the shade 125 Nude Beige, which is a pretty normal shade for me. It's for normal to dry skin. I have pretty normal skin. It gives a gorgeous glow, very similar to the Infallible Pro Glow. I find this lasts a little bit longer than this one does on my skin. Again, we don't have a pump. I don't understand that, but this foundation is so beautiful. Again, apply this with a beauty blender and it gives the most flawless finish to your skin. Oh, it's so pretty. Last but not least is a matte foundation. This is the Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte Foundation. For a matte foundation, I really like this. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose this one, only because this one can tend to get a little bit cakey if you put too much on. You gotta be really careful. It's beautiful on the skin, but less is more with this one. I don't find it builds up very well. It's medium coverage. If I try to build up areas, I do find it can get a little bit cakey, and I have to be a little bit careful with which powder I set, and I have to do a very light dusting of powder because this will cake up in my T-zone area if I use too much and if I don't use a very finely milled powder. But I love it because when you do get it right, it's stunning on the skin. It lasts really well, and it lasts all day and keeps you pretty matte. So I do really like that, especially in the summer when it's a little bit hotter and I need something to last longer and keep me pretty matte, so I'm not a grease ball in 115 degrees, but this one is super pretty. I really like it. It's probably my least favorite out of the ones I showed you, but I still really love it. But again, it's just a little bit more finicky because it can look a little bit cakey and a little bit bad on your skin if you're not careful. So that was it for my favorite drugstore foundations. I would love to know what some of your favorite foundations are. Leave them down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up before you leave this video. And check out my other videos in this foundation series if you haven't seen them already. There will be a tutorial for this look coming up. It's all using the Too Faced Peaches and Cream Sweet Peach collection. So stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!